The tools that we are going to discuss today are Search Active Device Protocol, which is in short form we tell SADP. I think very popular tool amongst CCTV technicians, especially who works with IP related systems. And another one is little bit advanced tool, but very useful and kind of an expert tool. So if you are a CCTV expert, you know you're already using batch configuration tool. And another very important tool today we are going to discuss is the storage and network calculator, which is a very critical tool when it comes to planning and designing CCTV, especially IP, and as well as can be used for analog CCTV as well. And finally, we have our very own player, which Hikvision developed proprietary player, PS player. Mostly, I know that many people are not using this player, but today we are going to show you some valuable features available with this player. So you can use that as well as in your day-to-day configurations and in day-to-day surveillance requirements. So without further ado, Tariq, I think we can start on SADP. So today, the total program will be on practical. So we are going to show and tell you how each tools are useful, in what way, and what are the features, and how you can utilize them for your requirement. So let's start with the SADP. As I mentioned earlier, SADP is just very basic tool which is able to identify Hikvision devices connected to a network. So as you can see here, the interface is pretty much simple. You see the number of devices it has been identified, and also you see in a table format the total device details. For example, the device model name, the device status, whether it's activated or not, what is the current device IP address, what is the port, what is there any SDK port, what is the firmware version, what is the gateway, what is the serial number, subnet mask, MAC address, and also DSP, separate building separate versions of the firmware, the device start time, if there's IP version 6 details, you can see those details, so and so forth. I think it is giving you so much details that you can see from here on just this simple table. So one thing that I need to highlight is the SADP tool can detect only the device in a flat network. So if your device is connected through a gateway or it is in a VLAN, the SADP tool will not be able to identify those devices. So anything in your flat network, in your LAN, in the same subnet can be identified. Here now, this is subnet is 255.255.255.0, which is a 24 subnet address. So in this subnet, all devices can be identified, and you can see already there are 3 devices being identified by this tool. And let's start from the top. So top, you see the number of online devices as a count, you can see, and this automatically refresh every 1 minute. But if you want to do a manually refresh, you can come to the refresh button and click on here. And next we have one of the most important features is normally nowadays, many people, when they want to link the mobile application to watch CCTV from a mobile, they use HiConnect, right? If a device is already linked to a HiConnect, it is bound to HiConnect, you are able to simply unbind it from its current account by using this button. Once you press it, it will ask you for the admin password of the device, and you can simply enter that and unbind it from the current account. So there is one way that you can unbind HiConnect from your device. And next we have the export button. So if you want to export all these device details which is on that table, you can simply click on this export button and it will help you to export it as a CSV file. And also there's a filter right here which is a universal search, which is very useful if you have like 100 of devices in a network and you want to quickly find a device. You just maybe you know the IP address, maybe you know the device model or part of a device model, so you can simply enter that part into the filter. For example, now here I can see the device list. There's a space terminal with temperature 70 mi. So Tariq, can you help me to enter 70 mi in the filter box and see how it performs?
Sure.
Yeah. So as soon as you enter 70 mi, see it is filtered out only the results containing 70 mi. Not only the 70 mi, you can even enter IP address here. For example, if you want to see IP address for 210, for example, you enter 210 and just 210 would be okay, Tariq? Yeah, simply anything containing 210 is coming up here. Here also 210 is here. Maybe we can try dot 210, Tariq? Yeah, that works. So you can see, simply you can enter part of a keyword that you want to search and you can filter and find the device what you want to configure. And let's say now there are certain additional things that you are able to do. One is to activate the device. So now normally when you buy a brand new device, it is in deactivate mode. So you will see the status as inactive. And what you can do is when you select that device from this little checkbox to the further left of your device record, automatically on the right side, you will see the activation box. So all three devices are currently active in active status here. So therefore, you're not seeing the activation box. So activation is pretty simple. You just enter your admin password and click on activate. And sometimes depending on your device type, it will ask for you to configure some additional information such as GUID export or security questions, which is very simple. And let's look at the right side. After we activate the device, let's say currently or we can pick the NVR. It is currently inactive. So from here you can enable DHCP, but we don't recommend DHCP for surveillance solutions and to enable DHCP. But you can change your IP address, port, subnet mask, gateway, and settings for your IP version 6 as well. And also your HTTP port, which is for web interface. And once you are satisfied with the changes, you can enter the admin password here and click on modify. So what if you don't remember the admin password? Yes, we have a method to reset it as well. So what you can do is come here, select the device from the little checkbox, click on forget password. So once you click there will be a prompt. There are certain devices can support the QR code, but not all the devices can support the QR, but this XML export can supported by almost any device. So you can select which mode you want to reset the password first from the drop down. So there are actually 4 methods here. So if you are practicing having good practices in CCTV and you already have a GUID exported, or you are already configured the security questions, or you already entered the reserved mail, you don't need anyone else. You can reset the password by yourself. Just import that. If you select GUID, just import that GUID and type a new password. That's it. If you have entered your security questions, you just select this mode and provide answer for the 3 security questions. If you have a reserved mail, just receive the code to reserved mail. So let's say now most of the cases we have witnessed in Sri Lanka, they not configure these 3 options. So they have to go with this option, which is import export secret key mode. In that mode, we have the XML export or QR. So as I mentioned, QR is not available in most of the devices, but XML is available almost in any device. So let's say if you are going to choose reset password with XML, you just click on export and it will export the XML file. And what you can do is you can email that export file to, currently we have an address for Sri Lanka, which is currently the password request for Sri Lanka are entertained by India. So you have to send an email with the XML key to support@hikvision.com, which is the email address. So I will just send it in the chat. So you can save it for your reference if you already didn't know about this. Currently, can we show how to export XML just really quick so our viewers can get an idea? So click on export and
export
and select the folder that they want to export and just select and click. That's it. So it will export and that file will be there. And when you send it to the Prama, support@hikvision.com, they will send you the reply XML file. So what you can do is here in the import options, you select import file. And there you select that file which received for your reply for your mail, and just enter your new password and confirm. At the same time, this is available only for NVRs. You are able to reset all the network camera passwords as well with this simple one key. So let's say you are having NVR connected maybe 10 IP cameras, and you want to, sometimes IP cameras having a different password, NVR is having a different password, but at once you can reset password for everything just by resetting the NVR password, which is, I think, very important thing and very easy thing if you want to reset the entire system. And other option is the QR code. So you can simply click on this QR, take a screenshot of that QR and share it with your national distributor technical team, and they will reach to the necessary technical support and get the reply security key. And in that case, you have to select this key option and input the key into this box, and again enter the new password and confirm. So I hope that you got a very clear idea about how to do the password reset. With that, Taridu, anything else that we should mention about SADP?
No, I think SADP pretty much covered.
And also from here, Taridu, I think we can enable DHCP, enable HitConnect. So if you just want to enable HitConnect, Taridu, can we close this reset path? And if you go and put a tick on this enable HitConnect, it will ask you to enter your verification code, and that's it. So after that, you can simply enter this, scan the QR code of the device label, or just enter the serial number into your HitConnect app and just use it. So those are the things. So this is a very handy tool if you want to really configure one or two cameras or one or two NVRs and just get it off to running condition, and just if you want to reset password of a single device like that. So comes very handy. You can directly download it from Hikvision website by just searching SADP. So these are the things that we have to mention about the SADP tool. And with that, I think we can move on to our next tool, which is just kind of experts tool of SADP, like expert version of SADP, where I think a lot of CCTV experts using batch configuration tool, which is capable of doing many things. And I think Taridu will give us a quick rundown on batch configuration tool now. Taridu?
Yes, before it, Muhammad asked a question. He asked what kind of details will export in this SADP tool?
Definitely. So normally when you do export, all the details mentioned on this table will be exported as an Excel file. So this is useful when you want to get an idea about all the devices on a network. Let's say there's a customer location and you want to know serial numbers, IP addresses, device models, and everything. You can simply open SADP tool and just export this as a CSV. And you will have all the details about IP addresses, the gateway configuration, the current firmware, and model numbers. So which is very easy when you want to make a report or get an idea, or sometimes make sure that there is no IP duplications, so and so forth. And the SADP tool only works for Hikvision devices also. That's also I have to mention. With that, Taridu, I think we can start batch configuration tool, right?
Yes, let's see. Now I had opened batch configuration tool. So here for this end, it's also same as the SADP tool because it has refresh icon as a SADP tool, and also we can modify network, and also we can configure within one key. I will explain it later. So regarding this, and also we can add as this like half of IVMS, because we can add these cameras or any Hikvision device to this section and configure it, or we can change setting like that. We can do all related for settings. Starting, I will select this one. This is NVR 16 channel. So I add it to this list. And enter password, and you can here see that device will add to this list. Then first we can see device details, model, IP address as like SADP tool, and also we can, I will just explain from top side buttons. You can add another camera or details manually without this automatic list, or you can delete that any device list here, and also you can check update any newly released firmware having with this model, and if has, it will show up here, and you can upgrading to new firmware. And also here is the manual update button. You can select update package and click update. You can do batch upgrade with this also. And also after the upgrade, we can export upgrade result. If there is many cameras, then there is many result, something success, something an issue having, so we can export all these details as a report. So, and I will add another device for this. Now there is a two device. Now you see, if I select both two device, this is the activating another button, batch config. This is very interesting because we have, if we have many cameras, let's assume we have 20 cameras. So we need to, normally we configure one by one, but with this function, we can configure only one device and we can copy it to all other devices. After that selection configuration, we can paste it to parameters to other cameras like time, users, any of these details we can copy from one camera to all other cameras. So it is very, this batch configuration is very interesting and very useful when we are doing large number of. So after then we can here we can select this device, we can see health monitoring. If we select health monitoring part, we can check status, hard disk, resource use, and channel states. Let's see how is hard disk details and how we can find the details. You can here state check and HDD state and click the details. Then there is a device list. You can click the refresh button. Then it's appear hard disk numbers and capacity, free space and status normal or not. And also as same resource usage, and if any camera connected to this NVR or DVR, it also showing here. After that, we can check network. So we selected this NVR and we select this one. This is a test condition we can create. This is how many minutes we need to test the network. Let's assume it's 1 minute, and this is a packet size. So we edit if we want to change these settings, and just click view. Then it's sending automatically to packet for this target address. Then if anything drop or packet not successfully to receive that end IP, then it's showing here it is lost packet numbers and how many percentage of the lost packet. So we can assume and check how is the network connectivity and it is strong and anything need to abnormal in this section. And also we can check how many ports need to open and how is the port status, it is open or not working, like that. That details also we can check here. And also that all we check details we can export as a report. This is regarding the health monitoring section. So, and also we can export these details to CSV file. As like same as the SADP tool, we can export these details to the Excel file. And regarding the NVR, we can add IP camera to the NVR from here batch configuration. It is very simple and it is easy to manage because we do not need to log into the NVR interface. We can manage in one location, or if you know to add one IP camera or IP segment or port segment like that, or device list, we can, if we list of any IP camera in here, we can add that camera for the NVR. We need to import in batch as in an Excel file template, that also we can do. After that, we have configure network parameters section. We can export template, enter that required details into it. Then after that, import it and configure network configuration. In this section, we can reboot device or restore device for the factory default. And if this is we selected devices PT set camera, then we can operate wiper in the PT set camera, and we can schedule the details, or we can config bin files, and we can download certificate from the devices because some device had certificate for the security reason. We can download that also. And also another details from more section, general parameter you can configure regarding the IP camera, OSD legend, and video parameters, and vehicle blacklist, whitelist. This is regarding the ANPR camera and OSD menu, and also some some details are not active because this device not supported for this setting. Any device support with that setting, this menu will be enabled. So this is regarding the batch configuration. Yasanta, do you have anything to add to this regarding the batch configuration?
No, Taridu, I think you have explained it in quite in detail. And Taridu, I think compared to the SADP batch configuration tool is like more professional and having more features and kind of easy to manage, right?
Yes.
So I think with that, we can move into the next section of our training. And there's a question from the audience, Taridu. Mr. Yogeshwaran has asked that, can you explain what is an IP address? So IP address is a basic fundamental, I would say, building block of a network, can put it like that. So like we all have our maybe national ID number to identify us, like that in any device at a computer network has an address to identify that device. So mainly what we do is we give that UI address, basically IP address, to any device which is connected to a network. So that is very layman's term, but there are many resources that you can easily find way better explanations in YouTube. So if you simply search what is IP address in YouTube, you will get way better explanations as well. So with that, Taridu, I think we can move into our next section. I think we have come to an interesting point, right? So I think storage and network calculator is a very important tool when it comes to configuring and getting an idea about the network bandwidth requirement, how much disk space that you need to put, because certain customers may ask, I want 90 days recording, I want 30 days recording. Then you might not consider this at the beginning and later you struggle to achieve 90 days recording. So if you gather the requirements correctly, when we are building a CCTV system, one of the key questions that you ask from the customer is what is the recording period. So based on the number of the camera count, based on the resolution and the frame rate, entirely depends how much space that you want to achieve that recording period. This is a web version of storage and network calculator, which we have a desktop version also. If you are convenient using just a desktop app, you can download as well. If you want ultra convenient way of using this, we have the same tool built into HiKey Partner Pack application as well. So just download HiKey Partner application and you can also use the storage and network calculator. So here, this is very easy. For example, let's say we have simply click on add, and you can then enter the channel number. Let's say you have 5 cameras. Video in the standard is PAL, encoding mode, let's say nowadays for more popular is H.265, and resolution may be 2 megapixel is like more common nowadays. And frame rate, you can, depending on your actual setup, you can enter normally, let's say 15, and it will show you the bit rate. And if you look at there are 3 tabs at the bottom. So before going into the tabs, I think we can also show them, like here, let's say now there are 5 2 megapixel cameras and there are also 2 4 megapixel cameras. You simply click on add, and in that this time in the I think top one, not this one, top one. This one you can keep as 5, yeah, top one. Number 2, yeah, resolution now can be 4 megapixel. Yes, frame rate we can keep 15. Yes. Now we can enter a combination of cameras. So some sites, they are not going to place all the cameras in the same model. So some critical cameras may be in high resolution. There can be ANPR cameras, which will be in even different settings. So what you can do is, depending on your configuration, you can enter any number of camera channel numbers here into this table. After you finish it, in the bottom, there are 3 tabs. So first one is calculating saving time. So here, if your disk space is already fixed, let's say you don't, customer is asking, I only want 2 terabyte. So then you can enter that here and see how many days it can record. So for 2 TB hard disk, it can record for 20 days and basically 20 days. And this recording time per day means, like if you are, sometimes some customers are recording motion only recording. Sometimes there's no continuous. So depending on your actual setup, you can enter like average hours that you will be recording per day. So by just pulling the slider to a perfect requirement for your case, you can select the number, or just you can enter in the right side box and basically you will be getting the saving time based on your configuration. Next, we have the calculate disk space. So this time you are not going to you don't have, you are still designing the project, and you want to know how much disk space you need to put. Maybe let's say to achieve 90 days with this 7 camera setup. So can we go to calculate disk space? Yeah, and saving time, I would say 3 months. Yeah, which is 90 days. And you see, you need a 9 terabyte if you are recording continuously 24 hours a day. You need a 9 terabyte capacity to record this. So you can get a clear idea when you are designing a project. Just come to this tool, enter your camera configuration and the recording and the frame rates and the settings, and it can give you like, okay, this is the hard disk, that capacity that you need to record for this particular recording period. Also, one more thing is the bandwidth. So you go to the calculate bandwidth and you can see the total bandwidth requirement, and it'll show you the total required bandwidth as 9 Mbps for this particular scenario. So you can get an understanding, like if you are connecting, for example, all these 7 cameras to NVR, and NVR should be having a ingress, otherwise the incoming bandwidth of 9 Mbps. So sometimes this is very simple case that we have showcased, but some cases you might have 100, 200 cameras, and the bandwidth may be in gigabits. So you need to consider like whether you want to go for dual uplink, or sometimes you might need to separate like your setup into two NVRs like that. Depending on the complexity and the bandwidth, you can get a clear idea how to segregate and plan your network properly. So this is also a very good indicator, especially in terms of planning your network to cater for this kind of band. So with that, I think, Tarendu, we can wrap up our storage and network calculator tool as well. You can go to tools.hikvision.com, which we have shared the link in the chat. If your upload bandwidth is slow, it means it has something to do with your internet service provider. Sometimes some providers give priority to the download, but very least bandwidth to perform the uploads. So what you can do is basically, if it is 99% of the time, it is because of the ISP. Ask for a very consistent upload rate. Sometimes there will be like people will be the internet service providers will be limiting your upload speed due to various reasons, but you can get a consistent upload speed by giving priority for your connection. But if it is due to your local network or your network configuration, we need to look into it. It's actually case by case. And let's say you are not in control of your upload speed. Let's say you have only 2 Mbps upload. Then what you have to do is you have to use the you have to adjust your upstream settings to match with your bandwidth. For example, Tarendu, let's just modify here. I want you to remove five channel thing. Just remove it from here. Yeah. Okay. Now let's say now there are 2 cameras. The requirement is uplink 2 Mbps. Now let's say you have 10 cameras, and let's go to calculate bandwidth tab. Yeah. Now you need 20 Mbps to handle it. But no, your connection is 2 Mbps. No way that you can handle it. So as you might aware that our Hikvision cameras are coming with, most of the cameras are coming with 2 streams or more than 2 streams. So here what you can do is, if you are using for mobile viewing, it is mainly the substream is being used. So you can go to the camera settings and change the substream settings accordingly, that you can fit in these 10 cameras bandwidth in 2 Mbps. So how you can do is substream, you reduce the resolution. Maybe shall we select around CIF resolution or something little bit below than that? Yeah. Okay. I think CIF does it well, right? So here yes, you can get an idea, but your viewing quality will be less, but it will be very, like, since you are viewing it on a mobile, you will not see very clearly a big difference. So what you will do is, not for the main stream, I'm repeating, not for the mainstream, in the substream you reduce the resolution to this particular resolution, and you can see 10 cameras can fit in with 1.9 Mbps. So when you are viewing from the mobile, you can switch for the substream and you can view without any lag or any problem. So I believe that our Mr. Imam got an answer for that. And with that, Tarendu, I think we can move on to the next part of our training.
I think this is final part. This is regarding the VS Player. VS Player is dedicated for the Hikvision DVR or NVR exported video player because it is very unique. You can view unique details in that export DVR or NVR video, and also you have very in detail here I am shown. This is the VS player. This is from Hikvision, and you can add the details, directory or file or URL to this player. Just for example, I had a load video. So you can see here green for the motion, green lines coming from this area box like that. But this is normal MP4 video. But you play with normal player. This is normal player, same video. You can see no much difference. Nothing showing in the motion detection highlight details, just video. But you play in this section in VS player, you can see those details. And apart from that, we can divide this video player up to 2x2, 3x3 like that, as same as the DVR or NVR. And you can put another video and another one and play all together. And especially as like the DVR or NVR, we can click here synchronize playback. That means we can play, this is 1 p.m. video, and this is assume these are 3 cameras for 3 gates. We select this one and synchronize playback. All these video file are play from 1 p.m. then, but this is file are not 3 cameras, so this is the same video. That's why this is not syncing sync playback, but we using that kind of separate camera videos, we can play that videos to same synchronized playback. And also this has fisheye expansion. So any video export from fisheye camera, we can view as a expand video, not like fisheye, as this view separated videos. And also there is a toolbox, so we can cut clip like this is the interface for it. We can cut clip and export any wanted size or any timestamp we need to export. We can do with it. And also this have inbuilt converter. This is for converter. We can convert video stream or file into a target format. We have two format. And also we have privacy mask. This is privacy masks. We can open file and draw privacy mask. So assume this we want to cover this section and no need to show exported person or something. So we can export this video with this mask, and after export we cannot see in this section, and it is very useful when we give a video to someone. We can export as a Hikvision stream or normal AVI video. And also like VR, we can zoom, very high zoom level for this video. This is highlighted function for this VS player.
And with that, Tariq, I think it's time to say goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Stay with us.